Hey there, we're Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, your book besties who take the novels you love seriously. This is Jack.
And I'm Amy, and together we mix smart analysis with fandom fun. So let's get into it.
This is our Breadcrumbs and Broomsticks episode where we read your thoughts and interpretations as well as discuss breadcrumbs from chapters 25 through 30 of Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Silver Flames.
Before we dive in, don't forget SPILT. Spoilers, perspective and interpretation, language, and themes. And what do we mean by spoilers? We mean spoilers for all of SJM's work. Everything is on the table.
Interviews, all of it. If you would like more information, please go back and listen to the start of Tuesday's episode. And if you want to submit your thoughts for our Breadcrumbs and Broomsticks episode in the future, make sure to follow us on Instagram where we collect listener submissions. I would like to start this episode off by saying we love you guys so much. This is the 4th episode that we have recorded in 2 days.
It's a lot.
And one of the episodes yesterday was almost 2 hours long.
I think both of them were almost 2 hours long.
We're never doing a live again. We get chatty. And then it goes longer. We just needed this catch-up weekend. I knew it was going to be a sprint, not a marathon. I knew it was going to hurt. Mm-hmm. We did it. I mean, we're not done. We have to start the episode. But I just want the listener to know that's how much we love you.
We love you. We're committed to you. Please commit to us by sharing our love with the world.
Yeah, guys. Commit to us. Share it with the world. Leave a review. This is not a good sign for how we're entering this episode.
You are sassy.
I have laundry to do. I have to still clean my room. Yeah. I also started listening to Dire Bound.
Hyping you up. And also, this is my to-do list for today. It's 2 columns. It's too many.
Too many fucking columns. But you know what? What's one column? Breadcrumbs? I don't know. Let's get into it.
In chapter 25, Nesta is obsessed with Gwyn's eyes. Quote, her teal eyes were a near perfect match to the stones the other priestesses wore. I personally feel anytime a point of view obsesses over the color of someone's eyes, which Nesta does often with Gwyn's, it seems to indicate some secret about their identity.
Yes, it does. Still in the same chapter, when Nesta visits Emerie, she sees Emerie's cousin, Bellius, has, quote, glass brown eyes. Nesta sauntered up to the counter, giving the male a once-over that she knew usually made people want to throttle her. From the way he stiffened, swaying slightly on his booted feet, she knew it worked. You seem to need an appointment with a bath. Glassy eyes, smells bad, cannot stand straight. Signs he's being possessed? Oh.
By Briallyn. Because he's already under the influence by this point.
Oh, wow. Amy, everyone. Good job, Amy.
It helps to have re-listened to the book.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to finish it up.
Still in chapter 25, Emerie backs up the oddity of Bellius's behavior with this statement. I didn't expect him to be drunk mid-date, though. That's a new low for him. That's not normal. Because he's not normal, because he's been influenced by the crown.
When Nesta has lunch with Emerie, Emerie admits to living alone. Quote, just me. Emerie opened a cabinet to retrieve a second place setting. No mate or husband to bother me. She spoke a bit tensely, like there was more to it than that. But Nesta said, me neither. Because Emerie's queer. Do we know she's queer? Does she admit that at one point? Or did we guess?
This is fandom.
Yeah. No, in my mind, it's truth.
It's also because anytime Moore is in the same scene as Emerie, Emerie is like transfixed on Moore.
Hey, context clues.
I have another context clue for Emerie a little bit later.
Oh my God, yes.
Nesta thinks about the letter she sent to her mother's family when they became poor. Quote, my mother had one cousin who lives on the continent and conveniently forgot about us when we fell on hard times. Nesta had written letter after letter when they'd fallen into poverty, begging her cousin Erston to take them in. Jack says, I don't know what this will be, but it feels pretty breadcrumby to me.
Like how you throw me under. You're like, this is Jack's thing. I don't speak for this. I don't know it.
I was giving you credit.
Thank
I was
you.
not throwing you under the bus.
The credit for me is I don't know what it is, but whenever there's just like the continent, I'm curious about it. I think we're going to get more continent. Also, anytime I hear the words fell on hard times, I just think of Paramore. Hard times, gonna be hard times. Yeah. Nesta, while going down on Cassian, quote, everything in her body turned molten. A surge of wetness slicked between her thighs as the taste of him filled her mouth. Salt and something more, something vital. Because they're mates, or because Amy just wanted me to read that out loud. And now the internet has me talking about wet slicked between her thighs and the taste of him.
But they're mates.
It's just the sound bites that are out there of us now.
You know what? There's worse.
Yeah, when I talked about cum and swallowing it.
In chapter 27, Gwyn has been trying to help Nesta find information about the Dread Trove. Quote, we can't even uncover who last possessed them, since it's information that goes back at least 10,000 years. Almost back to the time of 15,000 years ago when Queen Thea and the Dusk Court left with the horn into Midgard.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe that's the time of Elain too. You know, like, why the fuck not? Why the hell not?
Yeah.
I wonder if, like, in the second Throne of Glass book, A Crown of Midnight, you know, when she goes into the other world and becomes like true fae and she's fighting that other demon monster thing. I wonder if that was like went into Prithian.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like almost into the middle.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, I could see that.
Or the continent. Whatever that is. In chapter 28, Nesta observes Emerie wearing fighting leathers. Quote, Emerie dusted the dirt off the legs of her leathers, looser than the ones Nesta wore, as if she were uncomfortable with the skin-tight norm. This is a classic sign of a woman who does not want to be perceived, especially by men, signaling her preference for women. That's Amy's note. That's
my note.
That's the queer note. Straight women out there being like, I just don't like the tightness of it.
It's a context clue of some sort.
I agree. Like, it's in the context of Nesta and Gwyn have both had traumatic experiences. We know Emerie had something traumatic. Any observation is likely going to be a traumatic observation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't just like casually do that, right? It's not like someone is like, well, I'm on my period and I don't really like comfy things like tight on my uterus right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have that. For you, Amy, yes, this is correct. And for the listener, hey, you can be straight and horny and still want loose clothing. I miss skinny
yes, that
jeans.
is fine. I don't.
I miss it.
And I could be completely wrong.
No, I don't think you are.
But this is my semi-educated guess.
I feel like we are pretty educated in the sense of everything Esram talked about in her interview. We were right. So,
okay.
I think you could be right about this.
Thank you. In chapter 29, knowing that ACOTAR 6 is coming, we get this moment. Quote, Elain had already departed with Feyre, claiming she had to be up with the dawn to tend to an elderly fairy's garden. Cassian didn't exactly know why he suspected this wasn't true. There had been some tightness in Elaine's face as she'd said it. Normally, when she made such excuses, Lucian was around.
My initial note, and I deleted it, was, what's this bitch hiding?
Now it's, what's she hiding?
I'm trying to be respectful. I mean, for me, it was like she had to be up early to tend to some garden stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you hiding, Elaine? Well, yeah, what's your story? I have no doubt that she probably has this whole other secret life or something. Maybe she's a dancer and no one knows about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You know what would be great? If Elaine was queer.
Yes. Yes. And Moore's her mate. No, she's already in. She's already mated to Lucian. But yes. What would be fantastic about that is that both women who've rejected Azriel would have gone together. I think we can all support that.
Yeah.
In the same chapter, when the inner circle considers asking Elain to search for the Dread Trove, Azriel speaks up. Quote, Azriel stiffened an outright sign of temper from him as he said quietly, there is an innate darkness to the Dread Trove that Elain should not be exposed to. But Nesta should, Cassian growled. Everyone stared at him. He swallowed, offering an apologetic glance to Az, who shrugged it off. Mate shit.
Mate shit from Cassian, also signaling Az's interest in Elain.
Will Elain have a blow-up with Azriel? I'm reading Amy's note. For trying to shield her in the future? I think so.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Everyone's treating her with kid gloves. At some point, she's going to get pissed.
Yeah.
Meryl has some wind power. Quote, I am descended from Rabath, Lord of the Western Wind. Meryl seethed. Unlike Gwyneth Berdara, I am no lackey to be dismissed. Flagging, will this come back in ACOTAR 6? So I have a theory If you want to read the next one, Jack.
Yeah, I do. We never get the color of Meryl's eyes. Quote, Meryl turned her remarkable eyes to Nesta. I do not appreciate thieves and liars. Because it's revealing her true identity, Amy has a theory. Who else has white hair and remarkable eyes in SJM verse? Manananan.
Quote, the wind whispers to me even here under so much stone, Meryl said. It finds its way in through the cracks and murmurs the goings on of the world in my ear. Who else has a wind affinity?
Do, do,
Manon.
do, do, do.
Blackpig. Do,
Yep.
do, do, do.
It's like we can't stop.
No.
You know what's funny is like we're idiots equally outside of this podcast. She'll be coming around the mountain.
She'll be coming around the mountain.
Yeah, when she comes. No one else understands. Just trust me, it was funny. So Nesta flexes her power in front of Meryl and tries to pull back. Quote, Nesta dropped the thread of her power, quelling its music and roaring with an iron hand. Iron hand? Iron teeth, clan? Iron!
Yeah. Who knows? Who
Witches
knows?
be all up in this place.
Yeah. And they keep calling Nesta a witch.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get into Gwyn's backstory. I'm going to read a long quote. My grandmother was a river nymph who seduced a high fae male from the autumn court. So I'm a quarter nymph, but it's enough for this. Gwyn gestured to her large eyes, blue so clear it could have been the shallow sea, and her lithe body. My bones are slightly more pliant than ordinary high faes, but who cares about that? That's because breadcrumb to who Gwyn might be related to. What if she becomes High Lady of the Autumn Court? They already said power skips lines. And Az can be her counterpart because she might not have the same pregnancy issues as Feyre, which is a fandom theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once like they were talking about that, I was like, you can be the High
You
Lady.
can have a baby with wings.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I was more excited about the High Lady, where I was like,
Yeah, that's
what
fair.
if you're the High Lady? Continuing her revelation of her lore, quote, talking about her mom. She partook in the great rite when she was of age, and we and my sister, were a result of that sacred union with a male stranger. She never found out who he was, for the magic chose him that night, and no one ever showed up to ask about twin girls. Some people wonder who the father is. It could be Lucian. People think it could be Tamlin. Like,
Could be Eris.
it could be Eris. Oh, that would be great. The thing is, what's hard is that like everyone's the same age, basically. You know what I mean? Like everyone looks the same age. That if we find out that Lucian's the dad, they basically look the same age.
During training, Cassian looks at Nesta and her friends. Quote, but the three of them huddled together as Cassian offered a casual smile that was nearly a replica of Rhys's. Cassian is learning how to be a courtier and use his body language in positive ways or negative ways.
If we're talking bodies, you got a perfect one. I'm sorry. So when Cassian comes to Nesta's room amid her nightmare, quote, his body distilled at that scream, as if they were no more than the knife in his hand, a weapon to be used to eliminate and destroy any threats to her, to kill and not stop until every last enemy was dead or bleeding. I wonder if it's because they're mates. I
Maybe.
wonder. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Not I. So we asked our listeners, that is you, give us your take on Nesta, Emerie, and Gwyn's friendship. And as we were doing this, someone was sending so many DMs. Would you like to answer that?
Sure.
I think we actually have to hold off because she's still typing.
Okay.
Our girl's still going. I like Michaela. It's like she's actively typing us insightful things and we're just talking about her on the podcast. We love you. This is from Kaylee. I love the dynamic and healing that they all provide each other. A lot of times in friendships, one person might feel left out or excluded, but I never saw that with these three in Silver Flames. They demonstrate what it means to lift each other up. They are all in equally dark places, but they lead each other back to the light. They become a unit in a way that Rhys, Az, and Cassian are as well. The scene where they have a sleepover at the house might be my favorite part of the book. It was so wholesome and real, which makes me love all these characters even more. They inspire, heal, and support each other. I love them so much, if you can't tell.
I do too. I mean, it was funny in that part of the book where Nesta's like trying not to be amused by their antics with the house,
Yeah.
but slightly amused. I was like, that's me.
I loved it. I remember reading it, be like, this is so ridiculous, but also it's so true.
I was going to say that's you and me.
No, absolutely. Like, that's the funny thing is like, I think that is the most, when I say ridiculous, like, yeah, women are ridiculous in the best way magical possible.
Yep. This comment is from Amber. Hot take. I think sometimes SJM really wants to push the girl power angle and it feels forced. This one isn't as blatant as that passage from the finality of Kingdom of Ash, with the women walking in front and the men all walking behind. But the library slumber party scene did have a bit of the shoehorn about it. So this is in exact opposition of what we just read.
I know.
I think there's an innocence about the slumber party scene, and we just talked about Gwyn being emblematic of innocence. And although Emerie maybe doesn't have the same sort of quote-unquote innocence about her, there is, for all three of them, I believe, a feeling of lost childhood and reclaiming it. I was talking with my brother about this recently, of trying to reclaim our youth, because certain family circumstances took our opportunity to be youthful and make mistakes and have fun from us. And we had to be responsible at a young age. I can understand, 25-year-olds. I think Gwyn's only 28 or Emerie's only 28. I could understand them trying to reclaim some of the youth that was taken from them.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't seem like a far-fetched. Maybe it's because Jack and I are so fucking ridiculous when we're together.
I was going to say that, and I don't mean this in any kind of like, well, you guys aren't ridiculous kind of way. I mean this in the sense that I feel like you're either someone who is so ridiculous and stupid, or you're a different type of ridiculous and stupid. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where, like, not every single person, I think, is that type of, like, I'm going to sit here and come up with the most insane things. Like, I promise you, it would have taken us all of 10 minutes before both of us were trying to figure out what's the most insane dildo we can come up with. You know what I mean? It's just funny where if you listen to any of our drunk episodes, of our Taylor Swift episodes, you get the vibes and energy. And I don't want to say, like, you guys aren't like this listener. I'm like, you're just not one of us. Like, that's not the case. It's like sense of humor. Like, not everyone has the same sense of humor. And I think maybe that's one of those moments where it's like a level of ridiculous that not everyone has. My feeling, because the first time I read it, I was also like, this is a weird out of place moment. My opinion now is that it is the most human moment in this element of fantasy. And I think that might be jarring to a reader that's like, this is actually the most relatable, even though they're coming up with crazy shit. But like, this type of moment is one of the most relatable slumber parties I have ever listened to. And it took me a little bit out of the book because I'm in fantasy and suddenly I'm like relating way harder to this.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair assessment. I also think, based on our conversation, I'm going to wager a guess that SJM used this scene to show how truly vulnerable these three are willing to be with one another, right? Because when you don't feel entirely safe in a friendship, you don't want to come across as off the rails, right? You're going to be a little bit more protective, a little bit more closed off.
Yeah.
And these three are not closed off with each other. And I think it's meant to show the depth of their trust in one another, that they can be their truest selves.
Also, it's an example of adult women coming up, like finding friendship. I think that's something that's really hard for people to find friends in their adult life. I'm pretty fortunate. I've made a couple friends this past year. And one might be listening. Shout out to you. She likes to put us on in the background to ignore. Because I told her we need the downloads, and she says that we have great voices to tune out.
And greatest compliment ever given.
Kind of. I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. But it is hard for people to make friendships in their adult life. So how do you even go about that? And SJM said in her interview that during this time in her life when she was super depressed and then was like coping through all of that through writing Silver Flames, she also found friendship through it too.
Yeah. And I can see her wanting to express the joy of that friendship through the relationship Nesta, Gwyn, and Emerie have. And I don't blame her for wanting to balance the hard emotional stuff with some lightheartedness.
Yeah. Absolutely. Someone says, love them. One of the few times I'm okay with the power of friendship moment saving the day. One of the few times? Do people not like friends? Do you know what's interesting? How much of this is people not being okay with female friendship versus the way that we all idolize the Bat Boys? Like, there's literal t-shirts talking about the Bat Boys. And
Yep.
you and I talked about this in previous episodes. I think it was one of our SSJ episodes, but we were talking about how male emotion is fetishized in books, particularly romantasy. And, you know, when you see male characters who have relationships, we freak out and love them.
Right. Like, we're not put off by the fact that Cassian, Azriel, and Rhysand call each other brothers, that they're willing to be naked in the Birkin together, that they've fucked in the same room, right? We love their friendship and how devoted they are to each other. Why are we mad at the friendship of the women?
Because we're just mad, Amy. We be mad. We be mad at women, no matter what. I feel like you and I are fortunate. And I'm going to say something that is obnoxious as hell, zero humility. And I'm going to say it anyway. And I apologize now. To me, we're the stuff of legends. Like, I mean, you and I can find humor with each other so much. Like, since day one, we've laughed our ass off to the point where we wonder why we don't have better abs for how much we laugh. And that's something we've both lamented on for many years.
It's true. Why do I have so much visceral fat?
Like, we laugh so hard. Like, be funnier. I don't want visceral fat. I can't have this shit surrounding my organs. Anyway, I recognize that not everyone has that. And I don't think people may necessarily, because Nesta, Emerie, and Gwyn, they're not particularly funny. I think they're entertaining, but they're not particularly funny. So for me, I didn't necessarily relate to them in that sense. Like, I like that they're a friendship. I like that they represent something. But I feel like when we see friendship, we tend to like look for what resembles our own personal friendship the most. And nothing's been able to capture what we have.
No, not at all.
Beavis and Butthead? Dumb and Dumber?
Nah. I had a feeling that's the direction you were going to go. I mean, I think we are fortunate to have been friends for 16 years and counting. I guess it's 15 and a half, right?
Oh, I mean, we're rounding up.
we're rounding up. So 16-ish years, and we don't show signs of stopping.
Yeah,
and
thank God.
And not everybody has that.
Yeah.
Right? You and I, some people really wonder how you and I can stand to spend so much time together.
I know.
Online, in person. We run errands together. We live a mile and a half from each other.
We go to the gym together. I mean, the funny thing is, it's like we also have like a fair amount of like our own time, and we respect that too. Even like when scheduling gets hectic, I'll still be like, well, you and Emma, like, what are you guys gonna do and stuff? And you know, if we ever need that. And what also helps is like adulthood has been kind to us. Like 20s, you grow. And I think what they show to me is a very honest 20-something-year-old friendship. Yeah. That it's new.
Yeah. And honestly, you and I spent the majority of our 20s apart.
Yeah. Reunited and it feels so good.
And that's not without its like bumps in the road. But I think what draws Nesta, Emerie, and Gwyn together, they don't share trauma, right? They don't all have a single experience that they've all encountered that has caused them trauma. Yeah. But they are trauma bonded in the sense that they all have some form of trauma and are able to accept the people around them with their flaws, with their hurts, and love them no matter what, because that's what they themselves need as well in return.
Someone said that in like the quick submissions, they wrote trauma bond also.
Yeah.
They are trauma bonded. Like they were friends before, but damn, they're friends after too.
Right. And especially after the blood rite, they will be trauma bonded.
Okay, so I'm going to say something to Amy, and it's only going to be funny to us because of this weekend. But we were talking about our friendship, and I was like, whatever our souls are made out of, hers and mine are made of the same. I am Amy. The amount of Wuthering Heights movies and content we have consumed in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's true. Well, by the time this episode comes out, all of our Wuthering Heights episodes for Academia Unlocked will have come out too.
Okay, so you guys will get it, but just know all of that was filmed and recorded in a relatively short amount of time.
Very short amount of time.
Pride and Prejudice will probably be even shorter.
I've got one from Isabel. I think they all came into each other's lives at the right time. Gwyn needed someone to push her out of her comfort zone and love her for who she is, not in spite of what was done to her or her situation. Nesta needed someone like Emerie, who had been abused and groomed by a parental figure and was strong but kind and gentle. Emerie was physically and emotionally abused by her father after her mother's death. She was not afraid to call Nesta out on her shit, but also needed someone to push her out of her comfort zone. Nesta never once had someone on her side. Her mother used her as a pawn. The inner circle gave her impossible tasks that they knew she would fail in Wings and Ruin, and her sisters were more of an obligation than people who chose her for who she is. All three women were abused by authority figures and had their control and autonomy taken from them. They all needed each other to push and pull each other so that they could walk through their traumas together. Gwyn is the only one of the three to go through therapy, and she is also finding courage and strength in herself by helping others. But she needs a push too. Nesta turned to abusive coping mechanisms and needed a hard reset, and Emerie was just trying to make a life for herself within a society that ostracized her. All three represent different ways of getting through and coping with trauma.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
I do too. It was very well thought out. Thank you. They all came into each other's lives in the time that they needed it the most and the way that they needed it the most. And that is beautiful. And I am really excited to get more of them and their relationship. You and I have said before that this is kind of like the first time we felt like SJM really kind of handled female friendships. You can tell that that was a goal while writing it. It wasn't just a like, oh, here are women and now they're friends, right?
Yeah.
It's like this is a main part of the story and is critical. Like it is a plot line. You cannot have this book and take them out.
Yep. Agreed.
This is from Emma. The first time I read, I felt like it was nice, but I didn't feel super invested. I just reread and it literally made me cry multiple times. These are the kind of friendships women need. The ones where we support each other in our goals, understand our pasts where we are coming from and meet us where we are and can be silly. Honestly, the kind of friendship I'm craving at this point in my life. Oh,
I think it's true. You know, we talk so much about the male loneliness epidemic, but women are lonely too.
yeah.
And society has taught us to fight each other rather than support each other. And I think it's hard to find genuine friendship where you feel safe enough to let your hair down.
The fact that there are such tight female bonds and relationships proves how fucking incredible women are. Because to your point, we have been brought up in a patriarchal society where women are literally pit against each other constantly. And somehow, some way, we come through it and we make friends where we remove that competition. It does not end. I hate this sentence. We are well into our 30s. And Amy and I are like, you know, a sprite young 30-something. But we have still encountered women who will be the most immature people that you've met. And you're just like, how are we not beyond this? But I also understand that the way that patriarchy works, the way that we are all raised to be pit against each other, yeah, it is hard. Of course, there's a loneliness epidemic, but of course, there's going to be so many lonely women as well, because it never was made for us to support one another. We came through that on our own because we're awesome.
Yay. Girl power.
Girl power. It's Spice Girls, Spice World.
I've only watched it once.
You're in China. Don't. And this is where our biggest strain in our friendship is that
and
she
my
grew up in
parents, my parents were also very anti Spice Girls.
Is it because they were Mormon?
Yeah.
Or they just hated culture? Sometimes, though, like, you'll bust something out about what your mom would let you do. And I'm like sometimes there would be such counteracting moments that I'm like, why does that happen? But you would have been absolutely feral for Spice Girls. It would have been one of your queer awakenings. You would have been Sporty Spice, and everyone assumed that she was the gay one. And you would have, like, actually, you would pull, that's a great Halloween costume. You would make a fantastic Sporty Spice. So we did a couple's costume last year. A best friend couple's costume.
So now we need a girl group so we can do Spice Girls.
Agreed.
Got
Emma
it.
could be Jerry.
Yep.
Ginger Spice.
Yep. Who would you be?
I want to have to be Baby because I'm blonde.
Yeah.
But I'll be
You could
Baby
be
because I'm
Posh.
blonde. Also, yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Nicole can be Posh if she wants.
Yeah. We're just like recruiting anyone. Hey, listener, do you guys want to join our Spice Girls Halloween costume group? Let's do it.
Michaela.
So what's funny is, no, we're just teasing you, Michaela. But like we started recording this and Michaela started sending these messages and then we're like, let's read Michaela. And then it kept coming. We're like, let's now read her. And it kept coming. So we're like, let's just give it a minute.
Do we want to read the short answers before we jump into Michaela?
Have Michaela be the final one. Yeah.
So before we jump over to Michaela's message, let's just read some of the other shorter responses to the Emerie, Nesta, and Gwyn relationship. Okay, so much more integral to Nesta's healing than her romantic relationship with Cassian.
So true.
So true, which I love.
Yep. SGM finally writes a good female friendship right off the bat. Yep. She went in with that purpose. I think this is the only one that she went in like with the mindset of. And I feel like it helped her for Crescent City, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think she could have been able to tackle Crescent City if she hadn't tackled female friendship in Silver Flames first. Who knows what came first, but either way, they fed into each other. I don't think you could have one then the other. It just shows what it's like when you have purposeful writing.
I agree. Lexi says, it's the only female friendship that ever felt real in the entire Maasverse.
Successful trauma bonding. Agreed. We talked about that.
Baddest trio ever. They face their fear and shame and empower each other. Oh, unquestioningly.
Yeah.
She got cut off.
The friendship we all need, but few of us have, and we all dream of.
Layla says, one of the best iterations of found family / female friendships I've seen in fantasy.
Okay, so let me take you the journey in my head. My head was like friendship we all need. And then I was like, okay, like I'm imagining them during the blood rite. And then I thought, okay, how would Amy and I be in the blood rite? And I was like, there's only one way to test this. But we need to do an escape room together. And that was my equivalent in my head.
Okay.
I don't think we've ever done an escape room together.
I don't think so.
I feel like we'd be freakishly good.
Yeah, I think so.
You also refused to let me sign us up for a charades competition.
Because that requires us to be in front of people.
We'd be so good.
Okay.
We'd be so good. Okay, I don't think that they exist either, so that's another problem. Let's see. There's not enough female friendship representation in fantasy. It's nice to have. Yeah, there's something about fantasy that they were just like, nah, you will not have friends.
Yeah. Healthy relationships include friendships. Your partner can't be everything for you. Agreed.
Yep. I love their friendship. It's the first real friendship we've seen in ACOTAR. Similar sentiments around it. Best girl friendships in all series. Finally, a good friendship group.
Yep. They're who you find when you need them, but aren't looking for them. They appear and stay.
The girl gang that dreams are made of.
10 out of 10, no notes.
I never felt their friendship was that deep. Might need a reread, though. Or you listen to the season and you let us convince you.
Love it so much, especially the friendship bracelets that saved their lives. It's a very cute, like, symbolic moment.
Yeah. You know what? More friendship bracelets. Let's make spelled friendship bracelets. Trauma bonded 100%. Those three are endgame of friendship. They are probably like the best friendship group out of any of SJM's.
Yeah.
And I'm including the 13 because they all were scary. I mean, like they weren't like slumber party.
They also didn't express themselves.
Exactly. I'm very expressive.
I love it. Traumatized girlies got each other's backs.
The sisterhood Nesta needed without all the baggage she had with Farah and Elain. Yep.
They give each other tough love when they got to, and also unconditional support and love.
I wish there were more scenes of them actually being friends, if that makes sense. I feel like that'll come, hopefully, God willing, in the... Oh, sorry, I got really religious there. God willing, in the upcoming books. It makes sense why we don't get tons of like friendship scenes with them, like because they're all still building it.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
They make a better, more interesting springboard for ACOTAR Phase 2 than doing Elain. Roasted.
Damn. This person writes, I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, when is Nesta going to get betrayed? That's a great question, or like a great sentiment where it's like, when are they going to betray Nesta, or when is Nesta going to screw up that friendship? And what I like about it is that she never screws up that friendship. She screws up a lot of things in this book, but never that friendship.
Yeah. Because she knows it's the only thing she hasn't screwed up yet. So she's going to put in more effort to not screw that one up.
Yep. Found family. Nesta doesn't have this kind of relationship with her sisters, but does here. A lot of people are also not cool with the fact that she has a better relationship with these two than sisters.
I have a better relationship with you than a lot of my siblings.
I know. I'm just thinking about the people who said that. And I want to be like, can we talk about your dynamic? Like, what speaks to you? Do you want your sister to reach out to you?
Yeah. I mean, I respect people who have strong feelings about Nesta not making amends with her siblings.
Yeah.
As someone who has some awkward sibling dynamics right now because they all pissed each other off. It's sad to see. It's sad to watch from the outside. But I also understand sometimes space, separation, and healing outside of the relationship needs to take place before they can come back and mend the relationship together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what Nesta's doing. I could see Nesta having a better relationship with her sisters now that she's found healing and healthy relationships outside of her family.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for ACOTAR 6 because the Nesta we got in ACOTAR 6, or ACOTAR in Crescent City 3, there's just so many. But the Nesta we got there of her being allowed to go follow Bryce alone, I mean, with Azriel, but like they let her have the lead on that, co-lead. That says a lot of how, like, the trust that they have in her, too.
Yep, it does.
All right. Any more, or is it time to read Michaela's?
All right, it's time to read Michaela's before we wrap this up. Hello, Jack and Amy. I've never messaged you or commented on anything before, but I'm an avid listener of your podcast and always enjoy your insights. I really loved your ACOTAR seasons, and I've been rereading Throne to Glass along with your analysis. You make so many good points, and I wish I could chat with you about a lot of stuff. Something that stood out to me was the queer perspective, especially on Chaol and Dorian, and now I see it everywhere. Chaol's thoughts about other men seem really gay, and his love for Dorian seems really gay. Even sort of mate vibes for them when Dorian's magic unleashed to save Chaol, but not Sorsha at the end of Heir of Fire. It makes me think about how there is potential for really cool and compelling queer relationships in SJM's writing, and that potential seems to be missed. The queer relationships she does write have always felt a little bit forced or weak to me, possibly just because she's a straight woman writing out of her experience or comfort zone. I find the idea of Manon and Elain being together so much more obvious and also interesting than Manon and Dorian, and it feels like a big missed opportunity to me. I hope you guys talk about that. Haha.
Love it. Thank you. Agreed. I agree. Like, she doesn't have compelling queer characters yet. There's a lot of potential, and I hope she tackles that in this next arc of ACOTAR.
Yeah. Something about what Michaela wrote, I'm not going to phrase it correctly, but I think I saw either a Threads post or reel about how straight men lust after women but love other men. Like, yeah, no, I get it. And I think that's what we see in Dorian and Chaol, because I do think society has taught men that they can love other men.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I think in Roman society, they had different words for different types of love.
Yeah.
And brotherly love was the strongest of the loves.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of is at the end of Love Actually, when the washed up rock guy goes to Elton John's party and leaves Elton John's party to go to his manager's house. And he goes, I think you're the fucking love of my life. And then
that's it.
Yeah. And then he was like, do you want to like watch porn and like go spend a bunch of money? Like, it's platonic love, but it's that like, it's that deep love. So it's that male love. It's that male, good male love. There was something Amy said last night. And if no one listened to part 2 of our recap of SJM's Call Her Daddy episode, go listen to it. But I'm going to say something because Amy made one of the best theories that I have heard. And that theory is when SJM talked about sometimes the mating bond, sometimes nature gets it wrong. And the theory being, Amy's theory, is what if Eris and Moore were mates and nature getting it wrong is a larger metaphor? Because when she made that comment, I was like, this feels very queer coded to me in a way of like supporting trans rights and hopefully people feeling like anyone who's ever felt like they were born either in the wrong body or the wrong sexuality, like whatever it may be, it's like, you're okay. You are perfect. And sometimes nature does get it wrong. And sometimes you have to, get surgery to reconstruct, like gender reassignment surgery. But I liked your theory of that. I don't know. We were talking about queer love and stuff. And I just really love the idea of that. But that can't happen unless she has queer mates somewhere else. Otherwise it's going to look like you can't have, like, queer couples can't be mates. Like, if that did happen, she would have to make the dawn or the day court or whatever they were an actual couple. Mated couple.
I think I could see her not doing that. And that speaks to her comment of nature got it wrong. Because nature, in order to procreate, you have to have X and Y, right? You have to have female, male. And just because nature dictates that does not mean that that is always right.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
It would almost
so
be like her calling out her own rules to the world being wrong.
Right. Or like
Yeah.
it's also kind of metaphorical for religion, right?
I agree.
Or society, that just because this is what nature dictates does not mean that that is the way I have to live.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So it still works. I like it. All right, continue. Thank you.
I'm now rereading Silver Flames to prep for the analysis. I really love that book, so all my criticisms come from a good place. I even have a tattoo for Nesta. I'm a fan. But during this reread especially, a lot of the characters' weird behavior and the weak storytelling choices are standing out to me. Most of the inner circle are 500 plus years old and have been through some rough stuff, bad and toxic behavior during naive periods of their life or depressed periods. Why is no one coming to Nesta from a place of compassion? How do these ancient fae really think that urgent, tough love and shame is the right approach to helping someone going through a hard time? When they had their intervention chat, why on earth wasn't it just Feyre or Amren talking to Nesta to have a more personal and intimate conversation? The group setting seems really unnecessarily shame-focused. Everyone clearing out because they know Rhys and Feyre are about to fuck is really weird. Cassian commenting on feeling Rhys's power as he comes is really weird and kind of gay too. I mean, I guess in Rhys's defense, Feyre felt it when Tamlin came in Kalanmai. Remember?
It's just the world, okay? Like we can, high lords be coming around the mountain when they come. Okay, I actually, as you're talking about like reading her letter? No, DM, that's the word.
DM.
Like, what is the word? Because you and I have talked about that too, of like the way that they approach things. Like, yes, they're cruel. They're so much older. I think I've cracked the code. It's the same way that when I've talked to the youths and they're talking about like junior high or high school, and you just want to be like, you're going to be out of high school in like 3 years. Like you're done. You're so close to being done. It's hard not to be dismissive of something when you've gone through it yourself and you know it's fine. And it's like in the larger scheme of things, like it's not even going to be the worst thing that you've ever dealt with. You know what I mean? Where, what Nesta's going through is not the worst thing that she will ever deal with. It will be worse, actually.
Right.
And it's hard for an adult to not be dismissive of that, knowing, like, it gets worse. Sugar honey baby, suck it up now.
Right. Buck up, buttercup, as one of my bosses used to say to me. I completely agree with you. I think for Nesta, this is the hardest thing she's ever had to endure. But for the inner circle, because they've lived 500 plus years, they've endured a lot of hard stuff a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I can understand from their perspective. They're like, if you can't handle this, you're not going to be able to handle life.
It is that bad. But from this, you've been living for 500 years. Rhys was a sex slave for 50 of those years. You know what I mean? They have seen war. They have seen death. They have come out on the other side. They have caused massacres. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Nesta's dad died before she could figure out her daddy issues. She became Fae. That also really sucks. But you became Fae, and now you get to live with your mate, and you get cool powers. Like, yes, you were violated, but in the sense of what comes in 500 years, I could totally see them being like, all right, cool, like time for you to get your shit together. Let's wrap this up. Let's move on to the healed part. Not that that's good, but I can see that.
Right. We're not excusing their behavior. I do think it's shitty. I do think their willingness to manipulate Nesta to get what they want is shitty. They're not necessarily good people. This is kind of morally gray, right? I get where Michaela's coming from.
Yeah.
But I also understand that we are seeing everything through Nesta's perspective, right?
Yeah.
And Cassian's perspective, and Cassian cares for her. And so it's going to be colored a certain way. It's going to come through a certain lens. And we've talked about how both Nesta and Cassian are unreliable narrators. And so we just have to accept that this is how they view what is going on.
Yeah. Whether or not that's actually happening or not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And none of this is justifiable. Again, we be Team Nesta over here.
Yep. Cassian thinks Nesta is too thin and he is worried about her not eating. But during their first meal together at the House of Wind, he gives her unflavored oats and tells her she can't have sugar on them. Hey, how about we give the depressed starving lady whatever makes a meal palatable to her instead of forcing her to eat gruel.
Okay, as someone who is on a nutrition journey currently,
yeah, same.
Sugar does make you crash really hard before you hit the gym. I agree, but she should have cake after.
Yes. Okay. That's fun.
Oh, was that all of it? Thanks, Michaela. Was there stuff that she
Yeah.
complimented us on that you didn't read?
Yeah. Yeah. There is. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah. Make me feel good. I could just tell by your eyes of like, it's a level of uncomfort.
Discomfort?
Just, yeah, burgeoning. It's a level of discomfort when you hear eyes flash, and I could tell that it was a compliment.
Funny. Okay. Lastly, Michaela says, and that's pretty much all I've read up until this point, lol. LOL. I have no one else to rant to, and I'm curious to see if you'll touch on any of this in your breakdown. Really looking forward to this season.
Thank you, Michaela, and thank you, Amy, for indulging me in reading that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we'll be at the halfway point.
Yeah, after we're done with it.
After we're done with it. In my head, I'm like, it's kind of like Thursday, where I'm like, well, it's basically Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
we're
kind of how I feel
we still
about
have to get through Thursday and Friday.
Exactly. Like right now, it feels like a Thursday morning where we still have to do, and
2
then
full days.
then we'll be halfway through. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I understand.
I hoped you guys enjoyed. Okay, bye. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. Join us next week as we dive into chapters 31 through 37 of Sarah J. Maas's Of Court of Silver Flames.
If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps other readers find us. And, of course, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode. Share your comments through our form at booktalkforbooktalk.com, and we might feature your feedback in a future mini-episode or in a Patreon-exclusive episode.
For merch and more ways to support the show, head to booktalkforbooktalk.com. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the handle booktalkforbooktalk. And don't forget to join us as we keep the analysis going by subscribing to our Substack to get more insights on the romantasy and romance genres. Head to thesubtextsocietyjournal.substack.com. Bye.
Bye.